guys, good morning. It's January 11th, 2023, and we're starting off the new year, and we're gonna start off first with a mystery. After that, I'm just gonna show you some progress. I have lots of social media posts to show you of you guys' progress also, and we do have a giveaway at the end, so you'll wanna wait for that. And of course, any comments or questions, just put them in the chat and I will answer them. So we're going to start with our very first mystery for the Be Mine Stitch Along. So our Be Mine Stitch Along is where I stitch all through February, Valentine themed. So this is a mystery, and basically this right here is a PDF, and what you do is you buy it one time, and when you buy it today you would get the supply list. And then on February 3rd, you get the first release, which will be here. February 10th, you get the second release. February 17th, you get the third release. And the 24th, you get the fourth. So obviously, you can see it does have a frame. I mean, you can see the colors. This has all the colors you're going to be using. And if you're interested in the Classic Colorworks, we do have a thread pack. But if you want to do DMC, we don't have a thread pack, but we do list the colors for you and the number of skeins. On this one, the reds, both reds, the pinks, both pinks, all are used twice. So there's a lot of red and pink in this design, as well as the two aquas. But there is just, you know, you can just tell based on the skeins. So this is our thread pack, and the thread pack does come with a Just My Type Floss Bitty Floss Drop for free. So you get that free, and I'm going to show you how you use them because sometimes we get emails on how to use them. So I'm going to show you. So when you buy the Classic Colorworks, you get like a little bonus. And let's see. So what you do is I usually keep the front, like the little picture on the front, and then I put my, this thread part on the back on the logo. So I'll just pull one. And what I usually do, there's 5 strands in here. And then I pull one out. And then I put the color on the back, so I cover up my logo. From the front, I put in 4 strands here. I put in my remaining strand on the top. Hopefully we don't knot it. Oh my word. Of course it would knot on camera. I'll put this remaining strand up here, and what these floss drops do is they keep the paper stable, so they're easier to reuse. So they're less likely to get damaged, and then that way you can just keep using it over and over. And I also just like it to be cute. I put this one at the top just so that when I'm starting to stitch, I don't have to pull that out. I've already done that. And then I use all my leftovers up here. So we've got that, and let's see what else we've got. This is our bag. Our Just My Type project bag. You probably already have it. We have had it from last year. And then the Just My Type line keeper. I will say these, if you haven't tried them, you should at least try them once. Especially, I don't really use them on small patterns, but on big patterns, they really help me not have to frog or unstitch because it kind of keeps me in my place. So you should at least try it once. And then we just stitched ours on white 25 count. So you could stitch it on anything. I do think it would be really pretty on the pale gray gingham 14 count. So we used 25 count, and I might use 14 count. I might switch to 14 count pale gray gingham just to do something different since I don't love white as much. Val says she misses the DMC thread packs. This is the second thing this year that isn't offered. Is there a reason? Yes, absolutely. The reason is we make zero money and zero profit, and we have employees to pay, we have employee benefits to pay. It's just not profitable for us, and we're also limited to staffing. So some things we're having to cut back because we don't have the staff, and we need to make a profit on the product. But we do list it for you. But when we're not making, and also it's really hard to get. So if we're not making money on it, I can't always do it. I mean, from time to time, I love to do that. I love to do the free things, but I can't always do that. And it's hard for us to get, but you can get it really easy at like a Hobby Lobby, and you can probably buy your DMC cheaper from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, than you can even get it from us, because they sell it for sometimes less than we pay to get it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like Joann's, they get theirs at a much lower cost than we do, and so we pay a high price, and then we can't really offer it for a full retail because then it would be like overcharging you. So it's kind of one of those, like, we don't want to overcharge you, but we also don't want to go bankrupt. So sorry about that. Now I wanted to let you know that Priscilla finished this. And the stitch count is 122 by 122, so it comes out about 10 inches. And she finished this on a Chelsea's check. So she used Chelsea's Aqua Henry Glass fabric. She used 2 of their red ribbons. This is just a piece from, I think, Michael's, and then the Hobby Lobby frame is on the sheet. So my goal is I'm going to do this in 4 sections through the Be Mine Stitch Along. So I've already filled everything out, part 1, 2, 3, 4, and this time we made it. Last couple times we've done where we kind of like divided the mystery kind of weirdly, and this time we just decided we're going to do 4 pages, and Cheryl stitched the model. And the model she stitched 1X at a time, so you can really see the variegation there. And even though she did that, she did piece hers 1 page at a time, and it's fine. It didn't cause any kind of issue in terms of, like, when you rejoin your thread, it didn't look funny or anything, because that was one thing we weren't sure about. It is a one-time fee on the pattern. And on January 25th, I'm going to go over my Be Mine plan. I'm kind of already like starting it, but we'll go over the Be Mine in detail. I will show the floss real quick. So Little Pink Peony. You need 3 of those. Ladybug, I just want to make sure I tell you correctly. 2, you need 2 of those. So those are the Strawberry Parfait. So those are the 2 pinks. And you need 2 strawberries. 2 ribbon reds. So these are your reds and these are your pinks. And of course, you know, a lot of you might already have the floss in your stash. Caribbean Waters and Tropical Paradise. One kind of interesting story about this is when we're stitching this, we always look at feedback and colors, and we originally had the bird as 3 aquas, and Cheryl brought it in and she was like, I don't think it needs to be 3. I think that it could be 2 and it'd be cheaper for the customers. So we do make changes as we go. I think Really Tealy was originally in there, but we didn't need it, so we just went with 2 of these. And then it would save, also, I think the reason we did that is one of the skeins had so much color variation. Like when you look at the way Cheryl stitched this, you can see a ton of color variation. So that's kind of what Brittany was going for when she designed it, was to have a lot of color variation. But since the thread already had it, we didn't feel like we needed it. Lunar Eclipse is kind of a gray. Cocoa Bean is a brown. And then Brown Sugar. And if you'll want a little tiny peek. Let me see. Denise is going to kill me. So hopefully you'll join me for that. And hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping, you know, you already have the white fabric. You could use AIDA. You don't have to use the 25 count. And this, Priscilla finished this, and I forgot to say the Hobby Lobby frame number is on the pattern. And also underneath here, I'm not going to show you because I'll accidentally mess something up, but there is a sign under here that she just mounted this on top. And we can zoom in. And then I'll move it down. So this right here is Caribbean Waters. And then this is Tropical Paradise. And like I said, what Cheryl does is she takes the thread off the skein. She keeps 2 strands together and does 1 X at a time. So hers is going to have, her piece, when we compare hers and mine, it's going to look different because I'm going to do the loop method. And the loop method, you're going to have less variegation. There still will be some, but to me, the variegation is just not important to me at all, like the overall color is. So, just, you know, it just kind of depends on what you prefer and how you like to stitch. And I also think it's good to show you both so you can decide which one you think would look good. And she did stitch this on 25 count. It's 2 strands over 2 stitches. So you can, let me see if I can point with the needle. So like right here, this is a hole, another hole, and another hole. So she's gone over 2 squares on the 25 count. But I think I'm going to do mine. I think I am going to do mine on the 14 count. I just love 14 count. Pale gray gingham. I just love it. And I feel like all my stuff is on it. You know, it is kind of funny because when I was decorating for Christmas, we decorated and the nanny told Kevin, oh my gosh, she has so much stuff out. Like, it's, your house has so much stuff. And he was like, and she's in there stitching more in her chair. And I was like, oh, y'all both better shut up. But it's true because, and then I went to my father-in-law's house and he said, oh my gosh, at your house, there's just so much stuff. And I was like, when did it become, let's criticize Kimberly's decorating? Because my decorating beats all y'all's. I was mad. I was spicy that day. Kevin was like, you should not take offense to that. And I was like, my decorating looks good. Somebody shouldn't say I just have stuff everywhere. Anyway, but my father-in-law, he's great, but I really do have stuff everywhere. And so even my kids were like, Mom, it's a little much. Like, can we put some of it up? It's kind of messy. And I'm like, no, it looks good. I think they think it looks good. They just don't want to do the work. They don't want to put the work in it. When we put all the Christmas decorations up, we put them up and Kevin was like putting off doing the decorations because that's what Kevin does because he's like that. He likes to do stuff at night. He's like a night person. And so he put everything in his car and he went to the storage unit and the storage unit was closed. And so I was like, see, that's why you should have let me put the decorations up on time. Anyway, because we don't have an attic, so we have to have a storage unit. But anyway, I do have a lot of stuff. Boys don't understand. Oh, it's my girl too. But she's the one, she actually knows how to decorate. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I changed from Christmas to my next decorations in a little bit. If I buy the pattern, will I get the whole pattern? Today you will get the requirements, or you know, like what's the word? Supply list. So you'll know the fabric, the DMC or the Classic Color Works, and then 4 different days throughout February, you will get it automatically emailed to you at 8 a.m. Central Time on February 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th. And that way you can stitch along with me. And my goal is I'm just going to stitch one section at a time. Okay, so that is Love Potion. We're going to move from hearts and pretties to Bok Bok chickens. So I just wanted to show you this. This went out, so if you're in the club, oh my gosh, you guys have amazed me. I'm going to show you some pop-ups. You guys have already got your club, and in a couple of days, it shipped on January 4th. In a couple of days, you've already done some. So Stray Cat Stitcher says, my much anticipated Happy Mail arrived late yesterday. It's Chicken Club Cornelius #1. I had everything ready to go. Now I have the pattern too. I started and couldn't put it down. I'm so glad B. Lori 1 is doing a 12-month chicken series for cross stitching. I started collecting chickens a year ago, so this is perfect. And then she talks about what she's using. What I think is great is she's using 16 count French Cafe Mocha. And that's great because you don't have to feel like you have to use what we list. Use whatever you want. And then she is using called for DMC. And oh, she got her needle minder at Sweet Stitch 063. I'm not sure if that's an Etsy shop. And then she's using a Nurge hoop. Those Nurge hoops are so hard for us to get, but we keep selling out of them. So we're going to keep buying them and keeping them in stock. But just so you know, they come from the UK, so they take about 3 weeks to get here. And I might have to try it at some point because so many people are using it. And then the next stitcher is Stitching Granny of 17. And I was like, oh my gosh, 17, that is so awesome. And it's a finish. B. Lori 1 and Chicken Club SAL, so much fun. Next will be another one with Cornelius under it. So maybe she's making it, I don't know if she's making it once or twice, but I wanted to show you. And I wanted to answer a question that we got. All of the charts have a name under them, and there are 12 different. So it's like Cornelius, Pruddy, or Putty, or I don't know. They're chicken names. I don't know. I'm not a chicken person, can you tell? But they all are going to have that. So you can either put the name on it or you don't have to put the name. And then we give you the name with the tag, like all your information if you're going to include the name tag, and all the information if you're not going to include the name tag. And all the finishing information that Lori used is on the back of the pattern. And you can buy this pattern in the store in a couple of days. Our club members got it first, so it's not online yet. And if you use your hashtag to post your progress, I can follow it and see. The Love Potion, there is not a needle minder, but there is a zipper pool that I forgot to show you. The needle minder sold out. We were going to promote last year's and it sold out. So we are promoting the XOXO charm from last year. So we'll have to, for 2024, we will come out with a needle minder, but you could use the postage stamp that we did last year. So that is Chicken Club. And then we're going to move to temperature chart. So I have never done a temperature cross stitch before. So this is a brand new PDF that we are selling only at Fat Quarter Shop, and we did this with a hot range, a cool range, and then just a middle range. And I kind of wanted to show where I was at and then where a couple of other people are at. So within the pattern, this is going to drive me crazy. I keep saying I'm going to write this. Within the pattern, you can write down your temperature. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about this because we got some questions. So you can do the high temperature, you can do the low temperature, or you could do the average. And I'm doing the average. So what I did, what's the name of the site? weather underground. So I'm using the average. And what I do is I put my temperature in, my average, but you can do high, low, you can do whatever you want. And then I correspond that to, I'm doing the hot range, so I correspond like 55 degrees average would be 3812, so I put that here. But if you lived in Chicago or something, you might want to use this range, which would be a different color. So I'm going to show you kind of how mine is looking. I'm actually very happy with it. I was a little bit nervous starting this because I've never done this before. First of all, I think I started too close to the edge. Definitely started too close, but you know, sometimes I do that. And I had a mistake last week, so I had to pull that out. So this, oh, let me find that piece to show you. Do you have the one with my notes? Okay, thanks. Sorry. I'm numbering it by day. So I have stitched day, let me show you. Like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that is the only way I can keep track. And then I was kind of also getting lost on what days I'd done. So I had to go back on here and put checks because I was getting lost. So I have day 1 and day 3 were the same color. Day 4, 8, and 9 were the same color. But it's really green, and so that's nice because I was a little bit worried that it was going to come out all blue. So at least we've got, you know, we've got 4 colors going. So I'm really happy that at least I have a variation. I was a little bit worried with Texas temperature that it would just be all one because everything here kind of stays. But I wanted to show you some other people's. So Buffalo Flats Quilt Co. said, I would like to say I'm up to date on the temperature cross stitch. Yay, so it's only been a week. Here's my method. Now this is where I think this is great. She's recording the high temperature for every day at the O'Hare Airport. She writes it in her planner and on the tracker chart that is part of the pattern. She's using the wide range of temperatures, and you never know what you get here in Chicago. I mean, these temperatures recording right now are the 40s in January. And what she's going to do is stitch on Wednesdays and Sundays and do a few at a time. And she's using Classic Colorworks from her stash. She's going to give you the colors soon. She's using 16 count pale gray gingham from Fabric Flare. And this looks great. It kind of makes me want to wish I did mine on Fabric Flare. And then I wanted to show you one thing. She's using this. You don't have to change yet, Jordan. She's using the, so instead of using the cold range right there for Chicago, she's using the wide range. And hers is also, like, hers is very aqua. Hers is super cute. Okay, so let's see the next one. This is Chipper, and she says, no stitching for 4 months as you recover from hand surgery. Ha! 5 stitches a day is possible when there is a will, there is a way. I think I said that right. And hers is pretty green, so it's kind of interesting just to see other people's. And then Chimmy 93, first week complete, love a quick stitch. And just so you know, there are a lot of temperature charts you can find on Etsy. You don't have to use ours. You know, obviously we would love you to, but there are a ton of different designs. But if you're stitching ours, use the hashtag that we're showing on the screen so we can follow and see your progress. But there are some that are like trees with leaves all over the place. And what you could do, can I see the color range real quick? One thing you could do if you want to use thread from your stash, and we just kind of wanted to go with a rainbow effect, but if you wanted to use thread from your stash, what you could do is tape over it. like if you were going to use, you know, or you could just write your colors, like you could just tape over this or put a white piece of paper over this and then write your names in or your colors in. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions before I move on. Kiki asks, is there a DMC conversion for the Bountiful Stitch Along? Yes, there is. It will come out once we reach $10,000. I think we're only at $6,000, $20,000. We're only at $6,000. We're super late, super low on donations. So until we get to a higher, I won't give it out. And that's the only way. I do that with quilting, with everything. And that's the only way we found over the years to be able to get enough money for Make-A-Wish. And super exciting, next Monday, we have a little girl coming here to Fat Quarter Shop. And she's going to shop. And she's going to get a sewing machine and a table. And she's going to get, it's going to be so fun. And she loves pink. So I can't wait to meet her. We will show pictures of kind of what we give her. So yes, there will be a DMC conversion, and it will come out once we hit 20,000. We can look and kind of see where we're at today. Am I carrying the thread for all temperature chart, or do you do one stitch and cut thread? Okay, yes, I am doing this. I'm doing one stitch at a time. So we're at $7,600. So we still have $13,000 to go to give away or to list the DMC colors. So I am not, these two are the same colors and these two are the same colors. And I decided not to carry my threads. But you know, when it gets to the end of the year, if I start getting behind, maybe I'll carry the threads. What is the best count to use for a beginner? So I think 14 count AIDA would be great. What is the pattern behind you, top shelf and navy frame? Kaleidoscope by Lori Holt. And in that pattern, if I'm remembering correctly, she gives you a lot of color options. So you could do like, there's a lot of options of color. Holly Martin says, Kimberly mentioned she was trying a new needle. Yes. I don't know if it's in stock though, because that's the only thing. I don't think it's in here. Okay, they're called Heritage. Is that correct? Heritage size 26. And I actually like it better than the Pat Carson, but they come from the same company that the Nerge hoops come from. So I think they're out of stock and on order. Trisha says she adds the high and low temperature each day and divide by 2 and use that number. And if it's 36.5, I round up to 37. Yes, and I think you should just kind of pick what works for you. Like there's no strict rules, and you don't even have to do our temperature chart. You could use someone else's temperature chart too. And we'll do another one. If it's successful, we'll do another one next year if you guys like it. What makes the Nudge hoop different? So it's plastic, so that's different. I will have to ask Cheryl to give us some pointers to tell you next week because I don't know. When will Misty Green Opalescent be back in stock? Oh my goodness. Email Ryan, R-H-I-A-N at fatquartershop.com. I think we've had that on order for like 9 months, and I'm not kidding. So she'll have to check with the manufacturer and see. Julie asks, any word on the Pop of Winter zipper cross stitch by Bent Creek, when it will be available? So Julie, I saw your comment before we started. I looked on the Bent Creek social media. She hasn't posted it yet. The last one she posted was autumn. So I'm thinking maybe she might hold that out for the Nashville Needlework Market, which is March 5th. So I haven't seen anything on it, but we definitely will be buying it. So we'll definitely have it. I just don't know when we will have it yet. So now we're going to move into some things I've finished. So the first thing I finished was Wreath Swap 1. by Priscilla and Chelsea. And so you swap this out each month. And this is where we're going to do a little poll. Do you decorate for January, or when you decorate, do you go straight into February? So let's see, this one is from the Wreath Swap 1. So it's this little design here. And I stitched on 14 count chalkboard black, and then Denise followed the Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives video to finish it. And we just used the magnets or the washers from Hobby Lobby. And these come out about 5 inches. So I stitched up January, and Denise finished it for me. And I only have 4 months left. I have February through May to finish. But I wanted to talk a little bit about my decorating. So I had so much Christmas to put up. It took 6 of us 3.5 hours. So that probably wasn't like, my boys wanted to watch football, and my daughter wanted to probably go Snapchat or whatever you do on your phone when you're cool and have social media. So they weren't very happy with me. So I was like, you know what, let's just skip January. So I put all my January pieces away, and I didn't do anything with the snowman. So I'm like, why did I stitch all that? So what I need to do is figure out where in my house I can do like all my January and then all my February, and then I'll just put it all up in March. But I didn't do that. So I need to figure out. So if you have any hints on how I could like separate it out, that would be great. But let me see what the poll is saying now. It's still going. Okay, so Kaynella did cardinals for January. Leah did decorate in January for winter. Maybe it's because we don't have a winter in Texas. Noelia said I go straight to Valentine's. Rita decorates each month. Snowman is up now. And I think if I do that, what I need, I have plenty of cross stitch, but I don't have any decor for that's white or snowman-y. Will I be getting more winter petites? Yes, it should come any day. That already has shipped to us. And Cheryl, what will she be stitching this year? So we'll show you next week some of it, and this week we'll show you some also. So that's my first finish. My next finish is also Stitching with the Housewives. And it's my month to month. So the month to month, there are 2 in each. Priscilla and Chelsea stitched theirs on 28 count white Monaco. I stitched mine on 14 count pale gray gingham by Fabric Flair. And we bought some frames from Home Again that were $4.99. We ended up buying Home Goods. What did I say? Home Again. Oh, sorry. Home Again is a antique store in Salt Lake City that I go to with Lori. Sorry, not there. Where did I go? Home Goods. Home Goods. It took several trips, and one customer actually sent me the last one, which was really helpful because I haven't seen a 4-inch frame in my Hobby Lobby in a long time. Not Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, whatever. So talking about this one, I was a little bit nervous because I have never stitched kind of like a tan on a white. So this is Tea and Biscuits, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure it's going to show up, but it did. It looks great. So I'm going to take this to the framer tomorrow. I'm framing the big one with my framer, and then Denise is doing this one for me. Do you decorate in January? 60% no, 38% yes. Well, I'm in the majority then. So that's good. So I don't have to feel so bad. So in February, I will also stitch the February month to month and then the small. So I got those done. And then for Barn Sweet Barn, oops. Here are our pieces. I just wanted to show you our pieces, and then I'm going to show you some pieces that you guys have stitched. So Denise found this, and this is Angela's Quilts. This is the Barn Sweet Barn for 2022. And so this is a Lori Holt design, and what she did is she did 12 stars, 3x4, and she says, thank you, Kimberly Jolly, for hosting, and thank you, Lori Holt, for the pattern. And I think that's awesome because now it's like one big piece and not, so I just wanted to show you last year. She also, if you look at the bottom right, put her initials and the year, and the border she made up. So she got creative. And I think it looks great. And then Rusty Hinge Stitchery says this is her first ever fully finished project. It's not perfect, but nothing is. February is up next. And I love that piece she finished it on. It's like it looks like a frame that has kind of like, what is that called? That silver stuff? Aluminum or metal. It's got like metal on it. And any of these people you can go and follow on social media. And then Lisa B0000 says this is her first finish of the year. And so that's what we have so far. But if you want to use the hashtag, we can, we'll show progress of each, just some different ones each week, because I think as we get further into the year, what typically happens when we have a design like this, that's 3 colors, like a dark, medium, and a white, people start getting crazy with their colors. So when we get into March, you're going to start seeing like all kinds of stuff that's fun. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of Cheryl's stitching. So Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. This is Peace Winter at Pansy Patch. She also has another one started by her that I'm going to show next week. And let's see. She stitched on 36 count hand dyed linen from her stash. She's using called for floss, 1 strand of floss over 2 squares. And on these designs, you have to turn them sideways to see. She's going to leave off the alphabet. So she's just going to stitch that part. And you can see she's got her snowman started in her house. And Cheryl kind of jumps around. And I think that's really cool. I wish I was brave enough to jump around. Like if I started over here and over here, I would think, oh my gosh, if I completed the whole house, what if I'm 1 stitch off? So I kind of stay. I think Cheryl just trusts herself a lot more than I do. And then Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, we've been showing for probably a year now. She stitches this on the, what days of the month? 13th and 31st. I was trying to figure out that, I was trying to remember that. Oh my word, look at how pretty that is. So she's stitching this on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha, and this is the one where the fabric is one color on one side and then mottled on the other. And then look at her awesome back. So she should probably finish it pretty soon. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And she's using called for DMC, 1 strand of floss over 1 square. So do you want to zoom in a little bit and see? I mean, her stitches are tiny. I mean, very tiny. And then her next stitch is a pop-up. She gave this to her granddaughter who used to work for us when she was in high school. This is Legendary Girls by Little House Needleworks. We showed you that before she fully finished it, but that's 32 count Lugana from her stash, called for Classic Color Works, and 2 strands of floss over 2. And thank you to Cheryl. She's now been including that because every time you guys ask, I get it wrong. So she's got it like all written out for me. the next one that Cheryl finished, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So this is Jolly Claws by Stitching with the Housewives. It is available either as an individual pattern PDF or 2 patterns in 1 paper. She used 32 count vintage country mocha, mottled side, called for classic color works, 2 strands of floss over 2, and then in her sign she alternated red and green letters rather than all of them being red. She mounted it on a sticky board, and then she bought this pre-made wooden tag from Starry Nights Studio. And so Starry Night Studio is on Etsy, and we're not affiliated with her in any way, but she has some really cute stuff. So she has a lot of wooden pieces you can buy that are already painted. They already have fabric on them. They have like a sign. So if you're looking to do some finishing and you don't want to have to go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and think too much, because that would be me, you can just go to Starry Night Studio and try some of hers. And I'm going to show you at the same time what she made me for Christmas, because it kind of ties together a little bit. So every year for years and years and years, I've known Cheryl, how old is Emma? I've known Cheryl 15.5 years, and she makes me an ornament every year. Kevin gets candy, and I get an ornament. And she made this year, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like one of my favorite gifts. So she asked me what I wanted, and I was like, can you please make the Heart and Hand Santa from 2022? So she, oh my gosh, I love it. And so she finished it on a Hobby Lobby. The SKU number is 917345. And I guess it's like just a little tray, and she put it on sticky board. This is that really awesome fabric by Zweigart. It's called Powder Pink Splash, and it's got the little dots. It's similar to the Petty Point, and it's 32 count. I really wish this fabric came in 14 count, but it doesn't. It only comes in 32, 28, and 16, I believe. So I'm so excited. Now I can take it home and put it in my stuff. Thank you, Cheryl. And then Noelle finished the Spookography, which was our Halloween typography pattern. This is a paid PDF. You can get it at Quarter Shop. And we came out with this last September, and she stitched on 14 count white by Witchell, called for DMC. Oh, okay, they want to zoom in on the fabric for the last one. And keep popping your questions in, because I will answer them. So now you can see that the little, it's called Splash, and they're polka dots. And so the Petty Point is an even dot across. The Splash is scattered. That's right, Denise, right? Okay. Okay. So I wanted to tell you yesterday, we made a change to our Stitchy Talk, because here at Fat Quarter Shop, I'm always trying to be creative. I get tired of doing the same thing all the time. And so we changed our Stitchy Talk. So the first Tuesday of every month, we're going to do an all about series. So instead of sitting and stitching with me, because we've already done that a million times, we're going to do kind of a research presentation to you, I guess is the way I would describe it. So yesterday we talked all about AIDA. We talked about the brands of AIDA, the quality of AIDA, the pricing of the AIDA, the sizes of the AIDA, the colors of the AIDA, and hopefully we answered any questions you have, and hopefully that's a video that you can use like a reference library and go back to it from time to time if you have questions. But it's going to be an all about series. And so what we're going to be doing throughout the year is approximately 2 weeks before that Stitchy Talk, Ashley's going to put in the YouTube community tab the topic we're going to be working on in the next series, the next segment. and let you put your questions. And yesterday, I think we got to all of the questions except the one that was put in 20 seconds before we ended. So just so you guys know, when y'all are asking questions, you're 20 seconds behind me. So Ashley's 20 seconds behind, then I'm 20 seconds behind. So sometimes if y'all put in a question at the end, I don't see it because I ended and that's 40 seconds later. So there is a time delay, and we're definitely not trying to leave anybody out. But we are really happy with how that segment came out. I was a little bit nervous. And of course, if you have any kind of suggestions on the segment, let us know. We already have like now through June planned out, but we're gonna do like all about linen, all about floss, all about hoops, all about needles, that kind of thing. Okay, so we did that yesterday. So if you didn't watch that video, I would love for you to watch it. I would also love for you to give it a little like, because if you like the video, it will get spread out from YouTube more. And obviously we are trying to get more of an audience. So now I'm gonna show you Weeks Dye Works, which is our club feature. Now, I wanted to let you know, last week we showed you the Classic Colorworks Floss Fix. Floss Fix, we have 20 spots left. Okay, and I am gonna answer all the questions, so just keep popping them in. So like we talked about last week, we had to change our floss clubs because we were kind of running out of colors that look good together. So yesterday, Janelle opened spots for Floss Frenzy. So Classic Colorworks is Floss Fix, Weeks Dye Works is Floss Frenzy. And we are starting to go alphabetically. So this is January, February. I am going to open them. March, April, May, and June. So before, what we did for 2 years was we did like each, maybe February you would get all pinks. Well, we did that for a year, and then the next year we did it, and then we run out of pinks. So to keep it, we don't want you to get bored. So we went and started alphabetically. It also is preferred by the manufacturers that we go alphabetically because it kind of just helps them in their dye schedule for whatever reason. So I'm going to show you each month. I'm going to take it out and show you. But also, just so you know, we opened these spots yesterday. They probably will sell out, as well as Classic Colorworks. The reason why, I know some of you get frustrated, but I'm going to tell you the reason. The dyers of the floss limit to how much you can buy. So I close the club when Weeks Dye Works says I can only give you this much. So it's not like we're trying to limit you. We're limited ourselves. So this is January. Do you want to zoom out a little bit? I'm going to try to keep them with. But even though they're alphabetically, I still think it's going to give you a range of colors and they're still going to look good together. So that's January. I'm going to let that sit there a little bit and then move. Will we have any more holiday hallmarks? No, we don't have that planned. We have a different direction we're going. This is February. And one thing I need to do, I'm not much of a New Year's resolution or any of that. I'm not great at that. But one thing I do have as a goal for this year is in my office, my thread is a mess and I need to clean it up. So I've got to clean it up because every time people walk by my office, they see that mess. And on the back, Denise puts really pretty pictures on the back. So that's February. March, I'm trying not to get them mixed up for Denise, sorry. Yeah, and keep putting your questions. I'm going to answer them. Sometimes when I answer questions and then talk about a segment, I get all confused. So I'm trying to space it out. This one's really pretty. And during needlework market, usually a couple of companies will come out with like 1 or 2 limited colors. So that's exciting to look forward to. We booked our flights. We booked our hotels. And these 2 clubs, including our fabric clubs, are a great way to build up your stash. And then when you need a gray, you pull it, or you need an orange. And that way, you know, when you see all of the patterns we're offering, you don't have to buy the floss. You can just pull from your stash. I can tell you already that for the Be Mine, I have bought nothing for any of the, only thing I had to buy was fabric and the pattern, because all of the colors Priscilla and Chelsea use over and over, and I already had them. So that was awesome. So for Be Mine, I'm having to do very little. And then April's got kind of green, but you can see that we're in the bees. And then June. So it's kind of interesting how some of the letters, the colors kind of like 2 purples, Bordeaux and Boysenberry. I mean, they're pretty similar. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what's new. Oh, and I wanted to show you the You're the Boss is now available as a PDF, and I have this one hanging in my sewing room at home. So it's really awesome when Denise was like, can you bring this one? I was like, oh, I can actually find it because it's actually on the wall and not hidden in some mess of organization that, yeah. And this one, I kind of went out on a limb. I feel like at my framers, you know, if you go to your framer and you keep going to the same framer, which is what I do, they only have so many navy. They only have so many red frames. So I kind of went out on a limb and did a blue that I normally wouldn't do. And Lori picked it out because what I do is I send her photos as I'm picking frames, because you all should do that with your friends. Like, have somebody you can get a second opinion on. So, I mean, if I take my kids, they'll give me their opinion. Sometimes I think they lie just so they can think that they can get out of the store quicker. And then I secretly just, if they want to get out quicker, I just make it longer just to mess with them. But I kind of went out on a limb with this color, and I love it. Okay, so new from Lori, we've been doing the bee. Sorry, I had to get my breath. So we've been doing the Bee in My Bonnet enamel needle minder, and so we're just calling it Bee in My Bonnet. And so we're on to pink because she's going to do different colors. She's going to do like, I don't know how many colors, but Daisy was the original, and Daisy we are going to, when it sells out, we're going to be done. And then now we're moving to Daisy. Now we're moving to pink. So Daisy, then pink, and then she's already designing her next one. And what we do is we try to schedule them so that like this one will come when this one sells out. So they're going to be limited edition. So City Valentine, just like when Priscilla and Chelsea did the Christmas City, now they're going to do a Valentine City, and they're going to do 4. From what I saw in their video, they're going to do 4 in this series. And then this one came out today, and this is a circle. And what I decided, now on this one, I think I'm just going to have Priscilla finish them on blocks instead of full houses, because I don't, I think a block would probably work better for my decorations, but I feel really bad when I send all my stuff to her. So when I saw these, I thought, you know, let me try to find a circle frame that might work, that I could find 4 of. And usually I would go to Home Goods, but the last couple times I've gone there, they have like no frames that are small. They have a lot of big frames. So I went on Amazon and I found this frame. It sits up and I bought 4 of them. So I'm going to just finish mine. After I finish, we're going to finish it in here. And I'll probably leave the glass on. And what I'll do, well, what Denise will do, because Denise is much more patient than me. We'll leave the glass in there. What she does is she uses this, she puts it on top of my design. So basically you take this paper, don't throw the paper away. You center it, you know, kind of peeking to make sure you've got it centered. Draw a line with the friction pin. Make sure it looks good. You could also do the glass too, but I think she uses the paper mostly. And then we're gonna put it in here. And instead of putting cardboard in the back, because this one didn't come with cardboard. I mean, there's cardboard here, but it's not much. It's pretty thin. We get the Soft and Stable by Annie. It's pretty thick. It's very foamy. We'll cut it and put it in here, and then we'll have to kind of shove this close. When you put that Soft and Stable, you got to shove it. And that's what we're going to use. So hopefully it looks good. Hopefully it looks good. I'm hoping it looks good. But I'll show you how the Soft and Stable looks. And this is a question that's in the questions. So this is my month-to-month, January. This is the Soft and Stable. See how thick it is. So Denise just cuts it with a rotary cutter. She doesn't serge the edge or anything. We put a Soft and Stable in here. But to do this, we had to really shove. You have to like really shove this back in for it to fit. It takes a bit. Because it's so thick, it does take a bit to get back in here. But one of the questions was on month to month, is the larger one professionally framed? And the larger one is professionally framed. I don't buy like a standard 5x7. It doesn't fit a standard. So I do the small one myself. Me and Denise do it. And then the large one I take to a framer. Okay, speaking of month to month, March came out. So I'll stitch this in March. My goal on these is to stitch it as each month. Sorry, my stomach is growling. Let's Go Ride a Bike just came in. So if you are in the Let's Go Ride a Bike club, this shipped. If you're in, and that's a pattern club, if you're in the month to month, you get the floss and the pattern, and that has shipped. And then Farmhouse we pre-sold, and Stitching with the Housewife patterns are on sale, 20% off for the month of January. So I would get what you can while they're on sale. This one, I haven't decided if I'm gonna make it. So let's do a poll and see if you guys are gonna make it. And I know this sounds crazy, but I don't decorate with a farmhouse feel, even though I do decorate like Priscilla. But I just don't know if it would fit in my house. And I think if I did it, Kevin would be like, this is not a farmhouse. You don't cook. Because we're really smart Alex to each other. And like when I say these smart alecky things, like I have a crazy sense of humor. And so don't take anything wrong. Like the way Kevin and I talk to each other and my kids, like we have a very fun, like open communication where he easily says to me, oh, you don't cook. Where's your chickens? Or he'll say, Piggy doesn't live in a farmhouse. Anyway, he has lots of jokes about Piggy. He loves Piggy so much. Oh, and Jordan can show a picture of Piggy. And I'm kidding because Kevin does not like my dog. Look at him. He's a little baby. That's how he goes to sleep every night. He sits on me and he goes to sleep and he's so cute. And I love that little doggy. Maybe I should do it and should just say Piggy. Anyway. I did forget to mention in the little circle ones, the Be Mine, I wanted to talk about this because I am going to be doing this and I asked Priscilla for some advice. The one last week that was a roundabout had the V and the A. No, hold on. I think it's in the house. Sorry, I got it wrong. City Valentine has the V and the A. Sorry, I got it wrong. So they give you the letter V, the letter A, and then in this week's, I'm assuming the L and the E. So I asked Priscilla, I texted her and asked her for advice. And I have a tease that Kimberly's pink. Do we have it in here? Is it online for sale? Okay. Well, there's a tease. There's going to be a Kimberly's pink AIDA coming out. Priscilla's happened to look at last week's video if you want to see it, but it's not online yet. But Priscilla said you should use that, the new pink, because she's seen it because she finishes our stuff. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pink. I'm going to stitch the little letters. And then I'm going to let Priscilla finish it. I'm thinking of doing like little blocks though, instead of a garland, because I bought some garland on Etsy already, and I don't know. Let's see, what it is my favorite brand of floss. We did a little poll, DMC 53%, Classic Colorworks 37%, and Weeks Dye Works 9%. That is awesome. Interesting. Oh, and thank you to Misty Elliott for the super chat. Okay, another new thing. I am talking a lot. Sorry, guys. This came, and I didn't buy very many because I thought, oh, it's just a cute little book. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. So I can't, like, there's not a lot of photos, but I am going to show you what I can of photos. A lot of the designs, if I showed it to you, I'd be giving you the pattern, and I can't do that. This is Jennifer Dargle. I don't know anything about her. So cute. So in the front, she has an intro, and she has, what I think is great, is some tutorials on how to finish in the hoop. She talks about floss, hoops, pearl cotton, lots of info. But the part I loved is lots of detail on starting, and then there's some info on tips on how to get your fabric to go to the back of your hoop. And so there's lots of patterns. There's 365. When I was looking at this, my review of it was, there are so many designs in here that would be great, like housewarming gifts, wedding gifts, maybe if people get engaged, because there's an alphabet. There's like baby girl, baby boy. Let me go to a page. Let me go to each of the sections. Well, probably not. Let me see. Just so you can kind of get a feel for it. Okay, 3866. Okay. Oh, the page numbers are at the top. Okay, so the letters and sayings, not my circus, not my monkeys. Oh my goodness. I can't say that I have too many kids because they are my circus and my monkeys. Nature and plants. Children's room. Food and kitchen. Geometric animals, abstract art, colors and shapes, traditional, and seasons and holidays. So on this book, I didn't buy very many, but I think it's really cute. So we did order more for when we sell out. Really cute. And it's published by C&T, but I almost feel like maybe she's German because some of the words in here are German, but there's the alphabet, so you can change the words out. Oh, 20% of you are going to stitch the farmhouse. Okay. Oh, and then also we got a new pattern from With Thy Needle and Thread called Where the Bittersweet Blooms. Okay, Now I'm going to answer questions before we do the giveaway. How many strands of classic Colorworks floss should I order for the month when I stitch all the cities? Okay, hold on. Oh, the cities. I'm going to guess. The black coffee, maybe 2. Eggshell, 2 or 3. Little Sprout, 1. Ribbon red, 4 or 3. Sea Shelly, 3 or 4. Tropical Paradise, 2. That's a complete guess, but I'm starting from my stash, and I've actually already started stitching some of them because I stitch ahead. I mean, it's no secret. I stitch a lot of stuff ahead, and I've only used one skein so far. The boss of your own quilt. Your colors look so bold. Is that from the frame, or did you use more than 2 threads? Okay, I'll show it to you again, but no, I only used exactly what Lori called for, and it's 2. I don't remember if it's 20. Is that 25 count? Mm-hmm. So let's see. 25 count cloud. I used DMC, and I'd used 2 strands over 2 squares. So exactly like, it's probably the frame. When will we be able to order the Cupid box? I don't know the day, but coming up soon. It's cute. I know that it's being packaged because I saw it being packaged, so sometime soon. I can't remember everything. Do you have a timeline on restocking Lori's Christmas list floss pack? Yes. 2 to 3 weeks. We have all of it but one skein, one color. Can you show fiber on a whim, latte and parchment? We can put that on the list to do next week if it's in stock. How do you choose a pattern color for AIDA? Or how do you choose a pattern for color AIDA? How would I answer that? Just pick what you like? Yeah. I mean, I just kind of pick what I like. If you watch yesterday's video, I kind of talk about, I have kind of 5 fabrics that I go to all the time, and I'm very much in my life and in everything I do, I'm a creature of habit. If I like it, if it works, I stick with it. Like, I don't change. And it really frustrates my kids because they're like, why do we have to eat the same thing? I'm like, it works. You eat it, it's good. We don't need to change. And that's what I do with my stitching. If I like it, if it works, I do it. When you're starting a new project, how do you determine how much extra to cut your fabric? Okay. So I usually go with a 2-inch border all the way around, all 4 sides, or 3-inch border, all 4 sides. If Priscilla's finishing it, she always finishes, like, turns it right at the edge, so I don't need to give her much, but I try to give her 2 inches. If I'm taking it to the framer, I try to do 3 inches. And if you want to know what size to cut your fabric, we have the free cross-stitch calculator you can use on Fat Quarter Shop, and you can put the size border you want to use, and it will give you a tip. If I had a free day where you could craft what you do for pleasure, would you cross stitch or piece quilt blocks or both? I'd probably do both. I can quilt. That's what I did Saturday. So Saturday I had a free day. My kids didn't have to be, well, there was one game and one practice, but I mean, it wasn't like Sunday when I was gone for 14 and a half hours. I quilted in the morning, and then after lunch I cross stitched. What is the name of that website? Starry what? Can you go to it so I can read it? Sorry. Starry Night Studio on Etsy. And then there's no space, so you just search Starry Night Studio. She also has like an Instagram and Facebook, and you can follow, and she shows you like her new offerings and stuff. And I think that Little House Needleworks might have used her stuff for her Petites series. Will I be getting more Fortnite? I love the piece I purchased. Yes, and we have basically anything we've ordered, we reorder, and since that's a dyed product, we get it when it's on their dye schedule. Is the 20 count Cheryl used on Hawk Run Hollow AIDA? Yes, 20 count AIDA, 1 stitch over 2. And I saw a question from Pamela that says, if Cheryl's using 20 count vintage country mocha, she's using 1 strand over 2. I thought I should use 2 strands over 2. So if you want your design smaller, you use 1 strand over 1. If you want it double the size, 2 strands over 2. 20 count, you can do either or, and that's personal preference. And you know, honestly, in cross stitch, you can do whatever you want. But 1 over 1 is what she's doing. Is the 14 count opalescence white in stock? I'm not sure off the top of my head. Everything we have is on order. I will say opalescence, metallics, that minty opalescent, those are harder to get because they're less in supply at our manufacturers. Linda Smith says, what alternative fabric would I use instead of the marbled white pine for stackables? I think it would look great in, what's that other pine board that I like? Thin white pine. I think it would look really good on pale gray gingham. And then what's the one I did that home on? Whitewash board. Any of those, it would look good. On 18 count AIDA, should I stitch with 1 thread or 2? Okay, funny story. You're supposed to stitch with 1, and one time I stitched with 2 on accident. No, Snow Village I did with 2 because it was white on gray and I wanted it to stick out. Stronger Together, I did half one way and half the other because I forgot in the middle of the project what I was doing. And then when I did the pretty Christmas tree that I think I showed it recently, evergreen Christmas tree, I did that with 1. So kind of like the other, you can pick and choose what you like. Michelle says, what is the name of the hoops that everyone likes? My stitches don't come out even when sewing. Nurge, N-U-R-G-E. And then also Q-snaps are great too. Ina asks, fix hole in fabric after you have a lot of stitching already done. Any ideas? So after you unstitch your fabric, the holes will be bigger. What you can do, fairy floss. You can take this little wand. Can I have a fabric, please? So I actually did this last night. I unstitched. Oh, first of all, it bent. Sorry. It'll bend back. Who knows what I did. This one, I actually had to pull the stitches out right there. So first I unpull my stitches and then take this. It's basically like a mascara wand with no mascara. You go like this, get all your stitches out. Do it on the front. Do it on the back. And then your holes are still going to be kind of bigger. After you get your thread off, nudge it with your fingers and kind of do this. And then if it's not, I would let it sit a day or something, iron it. But yes, your holes will be bigger. They will. You kind of have to nudge it with your fingers. Now, if there's a hole, I don't know what you do. I haven't done. I would, if it was me, I would start with, I'm trying to think of that glue we used. I would use like a clear glue to try to glue it, but I don't know. Piggy, oh, I showed Piggy earlier. He's good. Okay, will there be more Love Note quilt kits in stock? Bad answer. We bought enough to make 50 more, and I think they'll go fast. That one we did not, we cut a ton of those. And last year we had a ton of kits left over. So we base what we do each year based on previous year's sales. So we don't order too much because we do have to pay for the fabric. So, yeah, we sold out a little early, but we bought everything that Riley Blake had. Okay, so that's all the questions I see. Now we're going to do the giveaway. So our giveaway today is 3 sets of Love Potion thread packs, Just My Type project bag, the charm, and a set of line keepers. So 3 people are going to win 4 items. To enter, the giveaway, what I want you to do is comment after the video and let me know what ideas do you have for our Stitchy Talk series, so that if maybe y'all have some ideas that we hadn't thought of, we can incorporate that in Stitchy Talk. You have until Sunday, January 15th. Ashley's going to pick 3 winners on Monday, and she will notify winners on Monday. She will also list the name of the winners in the community tab. I hope all of you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Wednesday.